Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Endless Spiral podcast. You're all very welcome. On this episode, I am joined by Leonie Gerken Schofield, who, if you don't already know, is a professional mogul skier. I knew that. Leonie comes from a multi-talented family whose sister Makayla and Leonie's twin brother Tom are all professional mogul skiers. Unfortunately, Leonie has been plagued with injuries throughout her career. I'm going to list off a few. She's had 2 ACLs, an MCL, some shoulder injuries, a broken back, a herniated disc, and is currently recovering from a collarbone injury. So, Leonie, you're very welcome. I usually say at this point, I ask the guests how they are, but you're just back from physio and you're hoping you're not going to be in too much pain. So, how are you?
I'm okay at the moment, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not too painful, so hopefully it won't kick in an hour or two. But at the moment, I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, well, hopefully we won't be here in 2 hours, so you should be on the sofa by then. So I was thinking, before we mention your injuries, maybe we could take it back a little bit to maybe how you kind of got involved in skiing and kind of what made you become a professional skier and how all that came about.
Okay, so my parents took us on holiday in a resort to start with in Val Thorens when I was 5 to learn to ski. And then every year we went on holiday for 2 weeks on the school holidays, and my parents took us to different resorts. I think we went once to Morzine and a couple of times in Châtel, and we used to rent this house out. And one day my mom turned to my dad and said, "Oh, I really like it out there. I think we should move for a year and see how the children get on, and it would be really great for them to learn French." So when I was 7, we moved to Châtel in the French Alps, and started learning to ski with someone called Richard that taught us to ski. And he turned round to my parents and said they're freestyle skiers. And at the time, my parents just laughed because they didn't know what that meant. And then from then on, we signed up to this ski club in Châtel, freestyle ski club, and I really wanted to join because I went skiing just before with my parents and my brother and sister, and we were on the chairlift, and I saw mogul skiers come down, and I was like, "Oh, mum and dad, I really want to be like them." So I just went from there really and joined that ski club and never looked back. We ended up, my parents, we did a year, and then my mum and dad was like, "I don't know why we'd move back to the UK," and we've lived there ever since. So
Wow. And you're back in the UK now?
yeah, I'm doing my recovery in the UK.
Yeah. And your brother and sister, they're off at a training camp at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they left. They've just left actually yesterday to Manchester for 2 weeks. They're doing like a trampolining and strength and conditioning camp.
Wow. So when you started off skiing, who was because Tom's your twin brother, so was there a bit of competition there between the two of you, or were you just better?
Well, there's more competition between me and my sister, I guess, because we're competing in, like, the boys compete with the boys and the girls compete with the girls, so there's a bit more competition between me and my sister. But that was when we were younger. Like, now I'm just happy for both of them when they do well, and when Kayla beats me, I'm happy for her. I mean, you know, she works hard too, so we both deserve it as much as each other. And when she has a victory or when she's top 15 in the world, then I'm really happy for her. So
Really good. That's lovely. So you have a good rivalry. It's a positive one.
yeah. There used to be a bit of tension before when we were, you know, when you're younger, and you're like, "Oh, I beat you and you beat me," and
Yeah.
Now it's just like we're happy for each other and we push each other to our limits, and it's lovely to have them on the journey with me.
Yeah, yeah. And you've missed out on a few big events through injuries, haven't you?
Yeah, I've basically been battling through injury for about 6 years now. It all started in 2014 with an ACL, and that was when I was only 14 years old. So at the time, I was just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get back and not really fight and not really question myself. I'll be skiing in no time." And went on the trampoline 7 months later, and it broke again. And then I think now I look back at it, that's what really hit me. When you're 14 and 15, you don't really think about, oh, take this jump, everything will be all right. You don't really question it. And now I'm a bit older, I'm a bit more, oh, what if this happens and what if that happens, and it just mentally gets to you, and then you have your breakdowns and your moments, and yeah, it's got to the point where I've had like really bad nightmares about it, and that's why now I see a sports psychologist, and I always talk to my mum and my family and my friends and whoever's there for me. I'm really grateful to have that, because if I didn't, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, yeah. It's a kind of important to have a good support system around you. So you obviously have that.
Yeah, I have a great support. Like Team GB have been absolutely brilliant with it. And yeah, I have a great team as well. I mean, we're all really supportive. We all push each other, and I mean, I work that way. If I'm with a team where it's not a good atmosphere and not a good vibe and no one's supporting each other, then I'll never do my best. And when we're all together and we're all pushing each other and we all want everyone to do well, then I think for everyone, every athlete, when we have teammates and everyone's pushing each other, then it just really helps you to perform.
Yeah. And the injuries, or the list of injuries that I mentioned at the beginning, sorry, as any of them being kind of more difficult to come back from, and not necessarily physically, but I mean, it's mentally tough as well. So does any injury stand out a bit more than others, or are they all kind of individually?
So I'd say physically it's kind of hard for me to decide what ones was harder, but obviously the knee just takes so much time. It's like 6 months. You're not allowed to go back into your sport for 6 months, and it's such a common injury, so I'm not really sure what one was harder. But mentally, now I look back, it's definitely that first ACL injury that really knocked me, because at the time it didn't, because I was young and I just didn't really think anything of it. But I've had so many nightmares, and an ACL can go just like that. It can happen to anyone. You can be the strongest in the world, and you can still snap an ACL. So mentally, it's definitely my first knee injury that got me. And I'd never had that pain before. Like, I just thought when I was on the floor, I thought I was never going to walk again. It was that painful, and my knee just swelled up. It was like a massive egg, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to ski again." And since then, it's like really knocked me. So yeah, definitely the knee injury for me was mentally the one that's really hard. But to be honest, I'm really struggling with this collarbone. I've got a plate and 10 screws, and the actual collarbone's been okay now. It's back in place, but my my muscle at the top's been really painful, and I'm struggling a bit with that, but it will get there.
Yeah. And how long did you say you've been out for with the collarbone injury?
So I did it unfortunately just before the World Champs. So I did it in March, the 7th of March, I think, exactly. So It's been 2 months nearly.
Yeah,
just over 2 months. Yeah.
And do you have much left in the recovery?
Yeah, well, I haven't got the sling on, which is good. I've just got to get it really strong now and be comfortable falling on it again. And that's the biggest challenge for me. I mean, I can get strong. I know I can, and that's the kind of easy part. I would say, but it's like getting confident with falling on an arm that's got a plate and 10 screws in.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm terrified. But I've got a trampolining coach that kind of does the transfer between injury and back on the trampoline and on snow, etc. And like I'm gonna do exercises with him where you're mucking around and he pushes you into the trampoline or stuff like that. All different exercises I haven't yet done, so I can't detail it anymore, but that hopefully will really help me, and also talking to my sports psychologist about everything.
Yeah. And do you find the sports psychologist is helping you?
I mean, for me, anyone I speak to will help me, because I just think I've kept so much in over the years that I just speaking right now is good for me. So yeah, having a sports psychologist also gives you like the extra advice and what to do, and the structure, and visualization is a big thing I work on. And also the pig thing I mentioned to you yesterday about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I get like I suppose some people it's different, but we talk like about flying pigs flying around and giving you negative thoughts and how to overcome them. So for me, that's really good, because if I'm sitting down not doing anything, I tend to just question myself nonstop. And it's about not just trying to ignore that thought, is trying to, okay, that's how I'm feeling. Why am I feeling like that? And just accepting that's the way I feel. And for me, that works. So I mean, everyone's different, but for me, that's really working.
Yeah. Well, listen, whatever works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like when we were having the chat yesterday, and I think I asked you, because you've been quite open with your mental health struggles and stuff like that. And I think I was asking you, did you ever realize you had any mental health kind of struggles before your injuries? I think you were saying it's kind of come from your injuries. Is that it? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. I think as I was saying before, when I was younger, you had an injury and you just come back and you move on, and I think that over the years it's mentally really like destroyed me. And people don't realize that you have an injury, and they just see, oh, you've got a sore leg or a sore arm or a sore ankle, whatever it is, and they're like, you'll be fine. You go to physio and you get strong and you'll be fine. But they don't really realize how mentally that affects you. And that's the kind of danger of mental health. Like, you can't really see it. It's like when someone says to you, oh, you look happy, you're fine, but actually that person deep down, you don't know how he feels. And that's so to answer your question, it's the injuries for me that have mentally made me not in a good place.
Okay, yeah.
And
I was you're actually a very good artist, because I was looking at your art on your Instagram page, and I suppose that's kind of must be therapeutic for you in a way to kind of just spend a bit of time, just at least just taking your mind away from your injuries and stuff like that, and just to kind of maybe focus on something else.
I have a lot of things that help me now. You find it over the years, you find what helps you and what doesn't, and art is one of them. It's a bit like people that play music, I think. Well, I'm not sure, because I'm not very good at music, but when I sit down in my art shed and I've got a blank paper and I can draw what I want and I've got no one telling me what to do, it's really kind of peaceful, and it's like you're just like in a different world that takes you out of the present, and you're there and you're just drawing away and you don't really need to think about anything else. And for me, that's great, because I overthink. So yeah, art takes me away from everything, from the questions, the struggles, and then at the end it's like I've got a piece of art and I'm really happy with it, or maybe I need to work on it more, but it's just something to have there in case.
Going to take up art while you were off injured, or did you always do a bit of painting, or was it just kind of something that you used as some therapy?
So my dad's the one who got me into art. He's always been painting. He went to art school, but then stopped. And my mum's always told him to, why did you quit? But yeah, he's the one who kind of like, oh, come and draw with me, and I just thought, oh, why not? Like, it's something to have. Why not try it out? And I just really loved it. So to start with, it was just like, oh, I really like doing this. I love drawing. And then I just, like, with the injuries, I just found that it's something that's helped me.
Yeah, they're really good. I was, like I said, I was looking at them on Instagram, and it's really, really good. It's really good. Do you want to mention what the Twitter or what the Instagram handle is?
Yeah, so it's Leonies with a 0 underline art.
Yeah, check it out. It's really, really good. And then another thing I wanted to ask you, that the mental health awareness week video that you did on, well, I watched it on Facebook. Was that your idea, or was that maybe someone approached you about that, or?
No, that was my idea. But I want to mention that I don't know if you know the Ellie Suter Foundation.
Yep. Yeah,
and
I do.
Basically it's Ellie was a GB snowboarder, and she committed suicide, and for me it was such a shock. Like, I saw it on Facebook and I was like, that can't be true. Like, she was absolutely amazing. Like, I can't believe this. And I didn't personally know Ellie, and it just affected me so much that I wanted to do something. And so I thought, oh, what can I do for her family? How can I help? And so I decided to do a painting of Ellie for her dad. And I think it shocked me because Ellie had the same upbringing as me. She was born in the UK. She moved to France to train. And so I was just like, whoa, I can't believe this. And so I did a painting for her dad and asked to meet him. And it was so nice because when I met him, it was like I already knew him. It's weird, but that's how it felt. And it was so nice to see, like, how caring he was, and always there. Like, he's been supporting me ever since in my sport, and I try and support the foundation in any way I can.
Yeah.
So that kind of got me thinking of what can I do also, because I'm a big believer of when you feel down, you need to get it out, and you need to ask for help. So if I don't do that, then who is going to? So I decided to do a video on Mental Health Week, and yeah, that's just how I managed to express myself out, that, you know, I'm skiing, and it's great, but I've been through some really hard struggles, and that's the way I wanted to put it out there.
Yeah. It's really brave, and it's a really good video as well, and it's touching, and it's like, it's emotional, and it's, you know, it's personal to you as well. So I mean, I shared the video earlier on my page, because I just thought it was something that I should be shared, and it's a conversation I think that's really important to have as well. So well done to you for making the video. It's really, really good. Yeah. Maybe we let you go soon before the pain of your collarbone starts kicking in. Usually kind of before the end of the podcast, I kind of asked, I guess, is there any kind of anything that they want to say, or anything that they want to mention, anybody, or do you have any I was going to say final words, but magic words might be a better way. Is there anything? Yeah.
Well, one of the Ellie Suter Foundation's slogan is "It's okay not to be okay." So that's something I like 100% agree to. It's definitely okay not to be okay. And to I think for anyone who's struggling, to talk. That's like what's helped me, is to talk to anyone you trust first, and then ask for help if that's not enough. And doing stuff that you like doing that makes you feel better. So for me, it was art or writing. I'm currently writing a book, or walking in the, like, outside and just getting fresh air. Meditation and yoga has helped me massively. Just doing something that makes you feel better.
Yeah, brilliant. And you've been doing a bit of studying as well. So I mean, the fact that you've been off and like you've been at least trying to keep your mind active, I think is so important. Because I know for me, like once my mind starts wandering, it can be, it can be dangerous. So I mean, you're writing a book. You told me yesterday you were doing a bit of studying. I was watching the videos. You're doing a bit of cooking and stuff. So well done. Fair play. Guys, I think we leave it
Thank
there.
you.
Yeah. Guys, I think we leave it there. As usual, everyone is sick of me mentioning at this stage, but I'll be posting this podcast up on the website in a few days. And the website is theendlessspiral.com. And the social media handles are The End Spiral, and it's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll leave it there, guys. And I want to thank Leonie for doing this. It's a very important conversation to have, and she's very brave for coming on this. So I want to thank you sincerely for doing this. We'll leave it there, guys. Thanks very much. Bye for now.